The toddler screamed as the security officer tore her hand from Marcus Reed's grip. He was taking her, someone shouted, and every face in Terminal 7 turned toward the black single dad as if guilt had already been proven. Marcus raised both hands, but his 7-year-old daughter, Nia, clung to his coat, terrified that the police would take him away. The little girl he had protected kicked, cried, and reached back toward him, repeating one broken sentence, "He saved me." Across the terminal, cameras lifted. Travelers whispered. A furious airline executive ordered Marcus detained before anyone asked how the child had vanished, why a stranger had been following her, or why Marcus had noticed danger before train staff did. Then the toddler's expensive bracelet flashed beneath the lights, revealing a name that made the officers freeze. Somewhere above them, the most powerful woman in aviation was running toward the terminal. 10 minutes earlier, Marcus had been kneeling beside Nia near Gate 42, tying her loose sneaker. Their flight to Atlanta was delayed, and Nia was trying not to complain. It was her birthday weekend, and Marcus had saved for months to take her to see her grandmother. He noticed the toddler because she stood completely still in the moving crowd. She wore a yellow coat and a rabbit-shaped backpack. Travelers streamed around her without looking down. Marcus searched the nearby seats for a parent. No one appeared worried. "Nia, stay beside me," he said. He crouched several feet from the child. "Are you lost?" The toddler stared at him, then looked behind her. A man in a gray cap had stopped near a coffee kiosk. When Marcus met his eyes, the man turned away. The child rushed forward and wrapped both arms around Marcus's neck. "My mommy," she whispered. "We'll find her." Marcus asked Nia to alert the gate agent while he carried the toddler toward the information desk. Before they reached it, the man moved closer. "There you are," the stranger said. "I've been looking everywhere." The toddler buried her face against Marcus and shook. "What's her name?" Marcus asked. "Emily." The bracelet around her wrist said Lily. Marcus stepped backward. The man's smile disappeared. "You don't want trouble," he muttered, reaching inside his jacket. Marcus moved first. He struck the man's wrist, twisted his arm, and drove him against the kiosk without dropping Lily. A metal restraint fell from the stranger's pocket. People screamed. Someone saw only a large black man fighting beside a crying toddler and called security. The stranger escaped into the crowd before officers arrived. Marcus tried to explain, but the first officer grabbed him. Lily screamed. Nia shouted that her father had saved the child. Nobody listened. For one terrible second, Marcus considered pulling away and chasing the stranger himself. Then he saw Nia's face. She was trying to be brave, but her hands were trembling exactly as they had after her mother's funeral. Marcus had promised that day that no emergency, accusation, or uniform would ever make her feel abandoned again. He forced himself to stay still. "Look at me, Nia," he said while an officer tightened the restraint. "You did everything right. But they think you're bad. They don't know the whole story yet." Lily reached toward him from the employee's arms, crying harder. Nearby travelers lowered their phones, suddenly uncertain about what they had recorded. Marcus watched the gray cap vanish beyond a departure board and memorized the stranger's height, limp, and direction. Then airline executive Grant Mercer pushed through the crowd. Seeing Lily's expensive bracelet and Marcus beside her, he made an immediate decision. "Detain him," Mercer ordered. "Now." Marcus did not resist when officers pulled his arms behind him. He knew sudden movement would worsen everything. Still, humiliation burned as phones recorded from every direction. "Daddy didn't do anything," Nia cried. An officer guided her away. Marcus's calm nearly broke. "She stays where I can see her." Mercer stepped closer. "You are in no position to give instructions." "A man in a grey cap tried to take that child," Marcus said. "Check the cameras near the kiosk." Mercer glanced at Lily, struggling in an employee's arms. "And we should believe you rescued her." "Believe the footage." Lily twisted free and ran back to Marcus. She pressed against his leg and screamed when an officer reached for her. "He saved me." "Bad man had rope." The terminal quieted. A supervisor lifted the metal restraint from the floor. Mercer's expression shifted, but he quickly ordered Marcus move to an interview room. "No," Marcus replied. "Sort it out where everyone saw you accuse me." Then the supervisor examined Lily's bracelet. The engraved plate read, "Lily Vale, Skyvale Emergency Contact." Every airline employee froze. Skyvale owned the terminal's largest gates and employed thousands. Lily Vale was the only child of Elena Vale, the airline's chief executive and controlling owner. Mercer checked his phone. Lily had vanished from a private family lounge 12 minutes earlier. Airport Command had begun a silent lockdown. A voice came over his radio. "Is the child with you?" "Confirmed," Mercer answered. "And the suspect?" Mercer looked at restrained Marcus, Lily clutching his trouser leg, and Nia crying nearby. "We may have two." Marcus understood. The grey-capped man had not acted alone, and Mercer was preserving himself by keeping suspicion on the easiest target. "Lock the service exits," Marcus told the supervisor. "He will avoid passport control." "How would you know?" "He studied the cameras. He knew your blind spots." Mercer scoffed. "You recognized that from across a terminal." "I was paid to recognize worse." Elevator doors opened beyond the checkpoint. A woman in a dark blue coat ran out barefoot, surrounded by agents. Lily screamed, "Mommy!" Elena Vale crossed the terminal and dropped to her knees, holding her daughter until both cried. Then Lily pointed at Marcus. "He saved me," she said. "That man hurt him." Elena slowly looked at the restrained father beside his terrified daughter. Elena rose with Lily in her arms. "Remove those restraints." Mercer stepped forward. "Miss Vale, we have not established his role." "You established enough to handcuff him publicly. Establish enough to free him." The officers released Marcus. Nia ran into his arms. Elena watched him promise his daughter everything was all right, although everyone knew it was not. "I am sorry," Elena said. "Apologize after you catch the man." They entered an operations room where screens displayed live feeds. Elena insisted Marcus and Nia join them. Mercer objected until Lily refused to release Marcus's hand. Technicians reviewed the family lounge. Lily's nanny spoke with an attendant while a catering worker passed the doorway. A fire panel flashed, drawing the nanny outside. The worker returned, entered the lounge, and emerged carrying Lily beneath a grey blanket. Another camera showed him changing jackets in a stairwell. He was the man Marcus confronted. He had an airport credential, Elena said. "A forged one," Mercer replied. Marcus pointed at the screen. "Pause." The man passed a locked door without swiping his badge. Someone opened it from inside. Only a hand and white shirt cuff were visible. "Someone helped him," Marcus said. Elena ordered a review of every employee with corridor access. Mercer issued loud commands, trying to regain control. Marcus studied the kidnapper's route. The man had moved Lily toward the public terminal rather than an exterior exit. That made no sense unless he was meeting someone. New footage showed him entering a restroom and leaving in a maintenance vest before disappearing into a baggage passage. Mercer sent teams below. Marcus shook his head. Too obvious. You are not in charge, Mercer snapped. No, but you are sending everyone where he expects. Elena turned to Marcus. What do you see? The route created camera sightings. He wants security concentrated below. The real exit is quiet. Nia approached with something in her palm. Daddy, the bad man dropped this. It was a plastic token bearing Skyvale's executive aviation logo. Elena recognized it as an access marker for private hangars across the airfield. Mercer called for vehicles. Marcus checked the runway map. A service shuttle was approaching Hangar 3, although no flight was scheduled. They are not escaping with Lily now, he said. They are destroying evidence. An alert appeared on the main screen. A fuel sensor had activated inside the hangar. Fire crews were 6 minutes away. Marcus was already moving toward the door. Chapter word count, 409. Chapter 4, The Man He Used to Be. Elena caught his arm. You have a daughter here. Marcus looked at Nia. Every instinct told him to stay, but evidence inside the hangar could identify whoever endangered both girls. Nia understood. Go. I'll stay with Lily. Elena promised armed security would guard them. Marcus followed 2 agents into a service vehicle. When Mercer tried to join, Elena stopped him. You remain here. Why? Because someone with internal access opened that door. The vehicle raced across the airfield. One agent asked Marcus where he learned to read surveillance patterns. I led Army recovery teams, Marcus said. Hostage extraction. The agent stared. Marcus read? My brother told me about a captain who carried 3 soldiers out after an ambush. That was a long time ago. It was also why Marcus noticed exits before decorations, hands before faces, and fear before words. After his wife died, he left military contracting to give Nia a life without midnight calls. He repaired elevators now and kept his medals in a kitchen drawer. Smoke curled from Hangar 3. The main doors were locked, so Marcus directed the driver toward a maintenance entrance. Inside, flames climbed around a rear office. A man in a maintenance vest poured fuel across filing cabinets. The agents ordered him to stop. He threw the container and ran between 2 aircraft. Marcus followed, using polished fuselages as mirrors. The man swung a metal bar from behind a wing. Marcus blocked it, drove an elbow into his chest, and forced him down. You saved the girl, the kidnapper laughed, but you cannot save the company. Who paid you? The man glanced toward the burning office. Ask who needed Elena desperate enough to sell. An explosion shattered the office windows. One agent dragged the suspect outside while Marcus and the other entered through smoke. Documents burned inside an open safe. Marcus covered the safe with a fire blanket and pulled out a metal case. They escaped before part of the ceiling collapsed. The case contained confidential board communications, payments to shell companies, and a draft agreement transferring Elena's voting shares after a manufactured family emergency. The access authorization bore Grant Mercer's signature. Elena arrived as firefighters surrounded the hangar. Mercer had served her father and held Lily the day she was born. He had also hidden enormous losses from illegal investments. His plan was to abduct Lily, force Elena to surrender control, and destroy the records. Police arrested Mercer in the operations room. He denied everything until they found messages on a hidden phone in his briefcase. When Marcus returned, Lily ran toward him. Elena followed, betrayal written across her face. "You risked your life to protect my company," she said. Marcus looked at Nia. "I did it so he could never frighten our daughters again." By evening, clips of Marcus being restrained had spread nationwide. So had footage of Lily clinging to him and Elena ordering his release. Reporters crowded the airport, asking for the stranger who stopped an abduction. Marcus only wanted to reach Atlanta and salvage Nia's birthday. Elena arranged a private departure but first invited them to the family lounge. Lily sat on the carpet drawing for figures beneath an airplane. She gave the picture to Marcus. Above his head was a crooked crown. "You are my airport daddy," she announced. Nia laughed for the first time since the crisis. Elena handed Marcus a folder. He did not open it. "If that is money, no. It is not a reward." Inside was an offer to lead Skyvale's new passenger protection and emergency response division. Elena said the airline had officers, consultants, and technology, yet one observant father had seen what the system missed. She wanted him to rebuild it around human behavior rather than appearances. "You know almost nothing about me," Marcus said. "I know you protected a child who was not yours while strangers assumed the worst. I know you stayed calm while your daughter was terrified. I know you ran toward a burning hangar without asking what you would receive. That does not mean I want my old life back." Elena nodded. "Then design the role around the life you want. No deployments. No missed birthdays. You choose the team and hours." Marcus asked for time. 3 weeks later, he accepted under firm conditions. Airport staff would learn to recognize trafficking without racial profiling. Parents separated from children would reach emergency teams directly. Every detention involving a minor would require immediate camera review. Nia suggested child height help buttons, and Elena approved them. Mercer and his accomplices were charged using the hangar evidence. Skyvale's public apology named Marcus, admitted the failures behind his wrongful detention, and promised independent oversight. Marcus insisted it also praise Nia for finding the token. Months later, Terminal 7 looked different. Bright signs showed children where to seek help. Staff practiced cases involving lost families, hidden coercion, and false assumptions. Marcus observed quietly, correcting details others missed. At the first child safety station's opening, Elena placed Nia's red sneaker beside the plastic hangar token in a glass display. The plaque read, "Courage notices what fear tells others to ignore." Lily pulled Marcus toward the cafe where the confrontation began. Both families shared a table. A traveler recognized Marcus and asked whether he considered himself a hero. Marcus looked at Nia sharing cake with Lily, then at Elena, who had transformed her company after nearly losing what mattered most. "No," he said. "A hero is someone who decides another person's child is worth protecting." Across the terminal, an alarm sounded during a scheduled drill. Staff moved calmly, cameras turned, and trained eyes searched without prejudice. This time, the system saw everyone.